How are we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily, and there is only one place we're going to start: utter woke madness. Sean Dyche has been sacked as Everton manager. Some people say they saw it coming. Some people didn't really see it coming. When you look at where they are in the Premier League, I think they're like fifth bottom. They're only 1 point above the relegation zone. They do have a game in hand, albeit against Liverpool. But overall, their football that they're playing is not great. And, you know, it's ironic that it's come on the back of some really good results when you think that they drew against Arsenal, drew against Chelsea, and then drew against Manchester City. But then very quickly went back to losing a couple. But yeah, listen, I don't know where I sit with this one. It's at the end of the day, it's, you know, Everton fans will be the best ones to speak about it and judge. And, you know, a lot of the locals are not happy. They're not happy with the football. And, you know, it's just kind of gone stale. He was brought in a couple of, years ago. Did what he had to do, but with Everton moving into their new stadium next season and everything, I suppose the owners have kind of looked and said, what we cannot afford is to be relegated and our first season in the new stadium in the Championship. But then on the flip side of that, you can't guarantee that a new man coming in is going to get different results and keep Everton afloat. They've got some very bang average players and they've got a lot of injuries. So who do they bring in? It's not going to be the likes of Graham Potter because he's at West Ham now. And the name that a lot of people are mentioning is David Moyes. A return. I don't know how that would work out. I think that it's not doubting David Moyes' credentials and whatnot. But will he be able to get enough out of, the players and the team and everything to do what he's got to do, which is survival? And then what do Everton do moving forward? Are they looking at somebody, like a David Moyes and saying it's a stopgap and in the summer they'll employ somebody that they really want to move the club forward? Or will it be a case of, David Moyes comes in, that's the, message, he does really well, and then they can't really get rid of him and they've got to stick with him? And a bit like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation at Manchester United, if you remember, he only came in as interim and was only meant to be there for a little period of time, absolutely started off flying, and then they had to give him the job full time. And yeah, it's a very, very interesting one. But like I said, Sean Dyche, he did the job that Everton needed him to do at the time. 84 matches for Everton, only 26 wins, 24 draws, 34 defeats. So, yeah, listen, at the end of the day, they're a big club and they shouldn't be where they are. They shouldn't be down the bottom end fighting. And I think the biggest, thing about all of this, and I was alluding to this with the West Ham situation and the whole Lopetegui situation and what happened there and how unorganized it was, how, unprepared it seemed they were, or how it was just done in a really strange way that looked really unprofessional. It's probably the best way. And this one is no different, because Everton playing in the FA Cup, albeit against Peterborough, whatever you want to say, they're sacking their manager 4 or 5 hours before kickoff, and it's kind of like confusion. What's going on? And Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman are having to take over as interim, and Seamus Coleman's still actually a player. And the players are probably sitting there scratching their heads and thinking, what on earth's going on here? Could they not wait another day? Could they not let him just do this game? Or should they have not done it sooner? just seems weird and really unprofessional and just poor that you sacked the man 4 hours before. Like, he's probably stayed in a hotel overnight. I don't know what the, arrangements are with Everton. If they're anything like, other Premier League clubs, even when they play at home, they'll stay in a hotel the night before a game. And, so he's probably stayed overnight in a hotel with all the players. He's probably planned everything, done everything, picked everything. Woke up this morning, had breakfast, with the players. And then all of a sudden, he's sacked. It's just really, really strange. And that's the bit that I'm alluding to. It's just really strange how it's all came about. And, what does this, mean for Sean Dyche? And I was thinking about this and I was like, will he ever get another Premier League club? When you look at the Premier League now, the way that it is, it's always been cutthroat, has been for years. If you're in it, you don't want to drop out of it. But you've got to think, he's not going to go to Southampton and nobody's going to turn around their fortunes. Isn't going to go in at Ipswich. Isn't going to go in at Leicester because, Leicester and Southampton have just got new managers anyway. Isn't going to go in at Wolves. They've just sorted out their situation. Isn't going to go in at Palace. Ain't going to go in at West Ham. Wouldn't be going in at Tottenham, wouldn't be going in at Brentford, Brighton, Fulham. But so you look at that and you think to yourself, well, he's not really going to get a job in the Premier League, is he? What would be his best bet? Get a job in the Championship and bring him up into the Premier League? Possibly. He's still got a lot to give, that's for sure. But yeah, I just think that maybe his, style of managing and his philosophy might be a little bit outdated, for the Premier League. You've got to remember, he was at Burnley a very long time, 10 years. What is he, 53 years old now? A lot of clubs are going with them young managers, new ideas, new philosophy, all this technical stuff. And yeah, it's an interesting one. I think he can definitely do a job, somewhere else. It's whether he wants to do a job somewhere else. He might decide that that's it now. He's had enough. But yeah, I'd be very interested to hear, what the situation was and how this all came about. Because, like I said, he would have woke up this morning and he would have been, with the players, I'm presuming, and everything else. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something happened. Is there an argument, a disagreement? Have they said to him, take the game, but then we're going to relieve you of your duties? And he's told them to piss off, or who knows? It's a strange one, but yeah, we'll wait and see what gets said. Listen, loads of news with transfers and bits and pieces, but nothing concrete or solid. So we'll speak about that tomorrow, or no, after the weekend. We've got a lot of games in the FA Cup, so we'll have loads to talk about and everything. So yeah, listen, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on the video, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.